Hello, everybody, and welcome to your midweek discussion board posting announcement from me, Professor Howard, as we are hitting the midweek point for our final week 5 discussion board posting. Again, interesting discussion board post this week, guys, as we are looking at Jill and her ability to treat patients and to examine patients and provide advice, given her personal background that she's experienced. And it asks some very interesting ethical and legal questions this week. We're looking at there's the fact that Jill has gone through something and she wants to possibly share that with patients, and the possibility, could it help the treatment of her patients or could it hinder the treatment of her patients? Is Jill obligated under some duty not to talk about it? In other words, is that something that Jill needs to refrain from doing? Is it something that could actually harm patients' care because there could be some legal questions, some ethical ramifications from that, because the patient or the patient's family might say, why is our patient being treated by someone who has experienced those kind of conditions? How do we know we're getting the best care we could possibly get? How do we know that what she's telling our relative could have further legal and negative implications on their care and their treatment? So, very interesting questions on how that works. And it's interesting, though, because from a moral perspective and maybe from an ethical obligation, should Jill even tell the patient that she's had previous issues herself? Is she under a duty to report it? Is the facility under a legal and ethical obligation to report to the patients under Jill's care that Jill has had some issues in her past? Or what is Jill's privacy rights? Should the facility expose Jill's background to the patients? Is there legal ramifications that the facility might face for doing that if they did it without Jill's permission? Whole host of legal and ethical issues with this fact pattern, guys, and it's very interesting to see how you guys resolve it and how you guys talk about these various issues. Also, it's always also interesting to see is it asks the final question here is how should Jill relieve her stress? If stress can trigger her condition and maybe cause her to have an inability to treat patients for a limited or even a long period of time because she's going through a relapse in her condition. How can Jill relieve the stress? How can the facility, and here's a good question, guys, think about it this when you're answering the posting. Can the facility do anything to help Jill relieve her stress? What are the facility's duties? Should they offer her additional time off or counseling or something else to help her maintain her mental stability and help her to get through her different conditions and stuff? So there's a great fact pattern this week in terms of trying to figure out all the different moral and ethical considerations when we're examining this fact pattern. So guys, remember your initial posting is due today by the end of the day, Wednesday. 2 reply postings by the end of the day, Sunday. Also remember to post on 3 separate days to get your timeliness requirement in. This is the final midweek report for me, guys. So enjoy this last discussion board. It's a great fact pattern again. It's got tons of legal and ethical ramifications to it. Have a great rest of the week. Remember, I'm here if you need me. You can phone, text, or email me, and I'll respond as quickly as I can. And other than that, guys, have a great week. It's been great having you the last 4 weeks, and finish strong.